Ethan sat cross-legged on the floor of his bedroom, the glow of his laptop illuminating his anxious face. Text messages pinged from every corner. Reminders of homework, upcoming tests, and social media notifications that seemed to scream for his attention. No matter how hard he tried to focus on the meditation app playing soft chimes in the background, his mind refused to cooperate. Thoughts bounced wildly, an endless jumble of worries about grades, friendships, and the future. Each time he closed his eyes, the storm in his mind seemed to grow fiercer. At 14, Ethan was bright and introspective, but the pressures of teenage life felt like a heavy weight on his chest. His parents often reminded him to stay calm and focus on your breathing. But the advice felt hollow. He wanted inner peace, but it always seemed just beyond reach. Each attempt to silence his thoughts only left him more frustrated, like trying to hold water in his hands. The harder he tried, the more it slipped away. One rainy Saturday afternoon, Ethan's mother suggested he visit a Zen-inspired retreat tucked away in the Pacific Northwest Mountains. "It's a place where young people learn mindfulness," she said. "Maybe stepping away from everything will help you find some clarity." Hesitant at first, Ethan agreed. He packed a small backpack, slipped on his hoodie, and left the buzzing city behind, replaced by winding roads, towering pines, and the faint scent of wet earth. The world felt quieter here, almost as if it had been holding its breath, waiting for him to arrive. Upon reaching the retreat, Ethan noticed a small wooden cabin nestled among the trees. Its walls were simple, and smoke curled lazily from the chimney. Birds called to one another, and the soft rustling of leaves created a natural symphony. He stepped inside, greeted by the serene presence of Master Lee, a 65-year-old teacher with silver hair pulled back into a neat bun and eyes that seemed to hold the wisdom of decades. Master Lee's calm aura immediately contrasted with the chaos that had dominated Ethan's mind. "Welcome, Ethan," Master Lee said, his voice gentle but resonant. "I understand you've come seeking peace." Ethan nodded, feeling a mix of hope and embarrassment. "Yes, I just can't stop my mind from racing. I've tried meditating, focusing on my breathing, even journaling, but nothing works. I feel like I'm drowning in my own thoughts." Master Lee smiled faintly, gesturing for Ethan to follow him outside. The air was crisp, carrying the scent of pine and wet soil. They walked to a garden where a climbing plant twisted around itself in a tight, chaotic knot. Its tendrils were brittle in some places, yet stubbornly resilient in others. "This plant," Master Lee said, "is much like the mind. The harder you pull or force it to behave, the tighter the tangle becomes. Patience and gentle guidance are often the only way to help it grow freely." Ethan crouched beside the vine, tentatively touching the brittle leaves. "So, you want me to untangle it?" he asked, uncertain. "Yes," Master Lee replied, "but remember, forcing it will only make the knot tighter. Observe it first, understand its nature, and then act with care." At first, Ethan thought it would be simple. He began to carefully tug at a single tendril, trying to coax it away from the main knot. But the moment he applied force, the vine resisted, twisting even more tightly around itself. He tried again and again, each attempt leaving him more frustrated. His hands trembled, and he let out a long sigh. "I can't do it," he admitted, leaning back on his heels. "It just won't come apart." Master Lee knelt beside him, placing a gentle hand on Ethan's shoulder. "You see, Ethan, the mind and the vine are similar. When you fight against them directly, you create more tension. True progress comes from understanding, patience, and creating the right environment for growth." Ethan listened, but it was difficult to imagine that something as simple as changing the environment could help. He had spent so long trying to control every aspect of his life that the idea of gentle guidance felt foreign. Master Lee smiled and began loosening the soil around the base of the vine. He guided one tendril toward a nearby bamboo stake, offering it support without pulling aggressively. Slowly, the vine began to adjust, winding gently around the stake, as if it recognized the new path being offered. Ethan watched in awe, realizing that the plant, given the right conditions and a gentle anchor, was finding its own natural direction. "This is what inner peace requires," Master Lee explained. "Not force, not struggle, but patience, understanding, and small, consistent acts of care. The mind, like this vine, Needs time to unwind and grow in the right direction. Ethan felt a small spark of hope. Could his mind, overwhelmed for so long, truly find peace in this way? As the sun began to break through the clouds, casting dappled light across the garden, Ethan realized that perhaps the answers he had been seeking were not about control or discipline, but about gentle redirection and patience. The next morning, Ethan awoke to the soft glow of dawn filtering through the cabin window. Mist clung to the pine trees outside, and the faint scent of wet earth filled the room. For the first time in weeks, he felt a curious sense of calm, not complete peace, but a hint that the storm in his mind might be quieting, even if only slightly. He met Master Li in the garden, where the tangled vine from yesterday glistened with dew. The master was kneeling, carefully adjusting the bamboo stake to better support the plant. Ethan watched silently, noticing how methodical and patient Master Li was. Every movement was deliberate yet gentle, almost meditative. "Good morning, Ethan," Master Li said, his voice soft like the wind through the trees. "Today, we will begin your first guided meditation." Ethan swallowed. Meditation had always felt frustrating, like trying to pin down a swarm of bees in a jar. But he nodded, willing to try. Master Li led him to a quiet corner of the garden, where a wooden bench overlooked a small pond. Water lilies floated lazily on the surface, and dragonflies hovered above, their delicate wings shimmering in the sunlight. Ethan sat cross-legged, trying to mirror the master's serene posture. "Close your eyes," Master Li instructed. "Focus on your breath. Feel it enter your lungs, feel it leave. Let the thoughts come, but do not chase them. Watch them, like leaves floating on a stream." Ethan inhaled and exhaled slowly. At first, the thoughts kept crashing in: math homework, the text he hadn't replied to, worries about what others thought. He clenched his fists, tempted to fight them, to force them away. "Don't push," Master Li said gently, noticing Ethan's tension. "Your mind is like the vine. Trying to control it aggressively will only tighten the knots. Instead, give it space. Provide a gentle anchor, your breath, a feeling of calm, or simply this moment." Ethan's shoulders eased slightly. He imagined his thoughts as the vine from yesterday, twisting and tangling, and himself as the bamboo stake, offering a steady, patient support. Slowly, the chaotic swirl of worry began to shift, not vanish, but move more predictably. Each breath felt like sunlight, coaxing the vine, or his mind, to follow a gentler path. Over the next few days, Ethan practiced diligently. He walked along forest paths, paying attention to each step, the crunch of leaves beneath his feet, the whisper of wind through the branches. He journaled his thoughts in the evenings, not to control them, but simply to observe them. Some days were frustrating. The mental chatter returned louder than ever. He would slump on the bench by the pond, letting out frustrated sighs, convinced he had failed. But Master Li was patient. "Even the vine resists at times," he said one morning, observing Ethan's furrowed brow. "Persistence is not force. Gentle, consistent effort allows growth. You are not failing. You are learning how to guide your mind." One afternoon, Ethan noticed something remarkable. While tending to the vine, he observed how the outer tendrils slowly leaned toward the stake, not because they were forced, but because they were encouraged. He realized that his own mind worked similarly. When he offered a small, supportive focus, a single breath, a kind thought, a mindful step, his scattered attention began to settle. "Master Li," Ethan said, a hint of excitement in his voice, "I think I'm starting to understand. It's like, if I push too hard, nothing happens. But if I just guide my thoughts gently, they start to find their way naturally." Master Li smiled warmly. "Exactly, Ethan. Peace is not a battle. It is a nurturing, patient act. You create conditions where your mind can grow toward clarity, like the vine reaching for the sun." That evening, Ethan sat by the pond longer than usual. The sun dipped below the mountains, casting gold and pink across the water's surface. Dragonflies darted, and ripples shimmered like liquid light. Ethan inhaled slowly, letting the cool evening air fill him, and exhaled with a quiet sense of accomplishment. He noticed that thoughts of school, friends, and worries still came, but they no longer demanded his full attention. He could acknowledge them and return to the present moment. A soft breeze rustled through the trees, carrying with it the faint sound of a distant bird call. Ethan smiled to himself, realizing that calm was not a destination, but a journey. Every mindful breath, every moment of gentle focus, was a step along the path. The storm in his mind had not disappeared entirely, but it had become navigable, a river flowing steadily rather than a torrent raging out of control. Over the next few weeks, Ethan's confidence grew. He approached each day with a quiet patience, both with himself and his thoughts. Simple tasks like helping in the kitchen, chopping vegetables, or sweeping the garden became small acts of meditation. He no longer expected instant results. He allowed himself to be guided by the rhythm of nature, the teachings of Master Li, and the gentle anchor of his own breath. By the time Ethan left the retreat, the tangled vine had fully unfurled. Climbing gracefully toward the sunlight, he looked at it with a sense of pride and understanding. It had taught him a lesson that could not be conveyed in words alone. Peace grows when nurtured gently, not forced, and the mind thrives when given the space to find its natural path. When Ethan returned home from the retreat, the familiar chaos of city life hit him immediately. Cars honked on crowded streets, texts and emails piled up, and the constant hum of notifications made his chest tighten. For a moment, he felt the familiar wave of anxiety rising, the same storm that had followed him for months. But this time, he paused. He remembered Master Li's words, "Do not fight your thoughts directly. Provide a gentle anchor, and allow your mind to find its own path." Sitting on his bed, Ethan closed his eyes and took a slow, deliberate breath. He imagined his thoughts as the tangled vine from the retreat. Instead of trying to push them away or force clarity, he allowed them to float by like leaves on a stream. One by one, he acknowledged each worry, each distraction, and gently returned his focus to his breath. The chaos was still there, but it no longer controlled him. He felt a quiet strength growing within, a sense of calm that had nothing to do with perfection and everything to do with patience. The following days became exercises in mindful living. Ethan approached his morning routine with intention. Instead of rushing through breakfast or scrolling through his phone, he noticed the warmth of his coffee mug, the sound of the rain against the window, and the softness of the blanket around his shoulders. On his walk to school, he paid attention to the rhythm of his steps, the crisp air filling his lungs, and the faint chatter of neighbors starting their day. Each small observation became a gentle anchor, a reminder that peace could exist in even the simplest moments. School was not free from challenges. Tests still demanded preparation, friends still had conflicts, and social pressures still lurked at every corner. But Ethan faced each situation differently. When anxiety crept in, he didn't try to suppress it. He acknowledged it, took a deep breath, and refocused on the task at hand. It was like guiding a vine toward the sunlight. Patience and gentle support, rather than force, made the difference. One afternoon, Ethan sat under a large oak tree in the school courtyard. Sketchbook in hand, he began drawing the vine from Master Li's garden, carefully depicting the way each tendril wrapped around the bamboo stake. As he drew, he reflected on the past weeks. The vine had taught him that control was an illusion. Inner peace came not from fighting the mind, but from understanding it, nurturing it, and allowing it to grow in its own time. The act of observing the vine, supporting it gently, and letting it find its natural path had transformed the way he viewed himself and the world. Ethan shared his insights with his best friend, Lily, who noticed a change in him. "You seem calmer," she said, curious and slightly skeptical. "How do you do it?" Ethan smiled. "I've learned that trying to force peace only makes things worse. I focus on small things, my breath, a walk, even noticing the world around me. It's like giving your mind a gentle guide instead of fighting it." Lily nodded slowly, intrigued. "I think I need to try that too." By the end of the month, Ethan felt a transformation that went deeper than his ability to meditate or concentrate. He had developed resilience, patience, and a sense of clarity that allowed him to face challenges without being consumed by them. The anxiety that had once dominated his life no longer dictated his emotions. He understood that peace was not a permanent state, but a practice, a daily, gentle choice. One evening, he returned to the backyard, where his mother had planted a small climbing plant near the fence. Its tendrils twisted toward the sunlight, finding support from a stake she had placed carefully. Ethan smiled, recognizing the familiar pattern. He knelt beside the plant, running his fingers over its soft leaves, and thought of the lesson Master Li had taught him. True calm comes from gentle redirection, patience, and creating the right conditions for growth. As he looked up at the sky, streaked with the colors of sunset, Ethan felt a sense of completion and gratitude. The lessons of the vine and the retreat had become part of him. He understood now that life's challenges would never vanish completely, but he had the tools to navigate them with a clear and steady mind. Lesson for the viewers. Life is not about forcing your mind into calmness or perfection. True inner peace grows when you practice patience. Observe your thoughts without judgment, and guide your mind gently, like a vine finding its own path toward the sunlight. Each small, mindful action creates a foundation for resilience and clarity, allowing you to face life's challenges with calm and confidence. Thank you for watching this story to the end. If Ethan's journey resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments. What gentle anchor will you choose to guide your mind this week? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss future stories that bring ancient wisdom into your modern life. Remember, every small act of patience and mindfulness can create a lasting ripple of peace in your world.